John Douglas spent many years as an FBI agent, and he's credited with creating the art of FBI profiling. He has written books in the past, and he has a new book out entitled Killer Shadow. It's about Joseph Paul Franklin, a prolific serial killer. John Douglas, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So tell us about the latest book and why you decided to focus on Joseph Paul Franklin.
Joseph Paul Franklin was really going to be a make or break case for me as a young FBI agent at the FBI Academy, developing this new concept called criminal profiling. And the FBI heads and headquarters were watching from a distance. They heard about the research I was doing with serial murderers around the United States and the cases that I was doing for local police. But I'd only been doing it for about 3 years. And then one day in October 1980, I get a call from a Dave Cole. He's a supervisor in the Civil Rights Division. He said, John, we know you've been doing this research. We have this offender named Joseph Paul Franklin. We don't know where he is. He just escaped now from a jail in Kentucky. He's killed over 20 people. Do you think you can help us out? And I said, really? I said, I don't know. I said, I'll give it a whirl. So they said, come on up to headquarters. I went up to headquarters, got boxes of material, brought that back down to Quantico. But before I left, they even said, hey John, if you screw up this one here, you could be working cattle rustling cases in Butte, Montana. So, do a good job.
Did you just see a pattern there, or what kind of led you to bring him together as the suspect in all of these killings?
Yeah. Well, who put it together really was the FBI lab and state labs around the country that put it all together through forensics. So it wasn't that, because that's what made it so difficult. Because you look for the MO is different in every one of these cases. The signature was the victims. He was targeting a racist couple, interracial couple, I should say. He was targeting Jews coming out of synagogue. So it was a very, very complex case to assess. So by looking at my role and goal was to see what are his strengths and weaknesses. They didn't know where he was in the United States. And what I said was, he'll be in Mobile. And I went out and I told them why. The rationale behind it is that this inadequate nobody, his only accomplishment really in life were the crimes that he perpetrated, particularly bank robberies in the Mobile area. Plus, he was married twice. And first time he was 17, married a girl 16, divorced after 4 months. He then at 27 marries a 16-year-old girl, has a child. That child is in Mobile, Alabama. So like a homing pigeon, I felt that he'd be gravitating back to Mobile, as well as to different blood donor places where he would sell his plasma. And sure enough, no student did those days was with teletype, wasn't emails and that kind of stuff. The teletype goes out. The agent in charge of the Mobile office says, John, he says, we spotted him in Mobile. You're right. He said, what? Banker savings alone. I don't know. I picked the city. I can't tell you. It's like, what's the address of a killer? When you do a profile, you can't provide that. And so got that information, and they flooded the blood banks and surveilled the banks and savings and loans. And then he was spotted leaving Mobile, and he ended up down in Florida, and we caught him at a blood bank.
What do you want readers to kind of take away from this book?
When I go around public speaking, is they're interested in the type of people that perpetrate these crimes, and they think that it's very, very, out of the ordinary, the backgrounds of these people. The FBI today need the public to be looking for signs of potential problems on individuals, because they don't. Now you have the internet. You have the internet. You don't have to meet in some basement somewhere like the Klan did in the Nazi Party. You can inspire this hatred over the internet. And not everyone belonging to these groups will commit violence, but someone will observe action. Someone will, out there, the general public, where this person has become obsessed with violence, obsessed with hatred toward blacks, toward minorities of any shade of color. And it's important. And so they'll be able to recognize some of these indicators here. Unfortunately, you can't stop somebody like Franklin. There'll be more Franklins.
Well, John Douglas, author of Killer Shadow, I can't wait to read it. I'm really excited to dig into it. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for talking with us today. It was a great honor, and we wish you the best with this new book.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Angela. Thank you very much.